In this video I'll show you how you can use plastic welding for repairing things around your home. And this is a quad bike toy, and you see here this part is broken. Normally when this happens you would just throw it away or try to repair it. Why not try to repair it? And if you repair it, how you repair it? Using glue is one option, but glue wouldn't really work well on this case, especially. You see here it's not really easy to put glue. Super glue with baking soda or epoxy might work for a while, but it would eventually break. What you need to do is use plastic welding. Using a soldering iron, it's really easy, ABS. And some material that's ABS. And I don't know why I use this piece of metal. I just had it around, I guess, to use it as a tool. And this is ABS material for 3D printing, but we're not gonna use it for 3D printing now. But yeah, if you have a 3D printing pen, that could work really well for this use case, to bring extra material. That's what I need. You can also use cable ties or any piece of plastic that is the same type of plastic as the one you're repairing. It's important that you put the same material, the same plastic code. So plastic code 5 goes with plastic code 5. Here I was removing the wheels to get better access to the part. The repair with plastic welding using a soldering iron or a specific plastic welding device is instant. Once the plastic cools down, it's ready to use. Not like the glue where you have to wait 24 hours or even 2 hours. This is instant. But it's it's important to do it outside because there might be plastic fumes. Whoa, almost dropped it. It's important to do it in a well-ventilated area. There might be harmful chemicals, fumes from the plastic when you weld it, and you don't want to breathe that stuff. So a fan next to you, it's ideal outside. Here I'm trying to see if the part I have here is the whole thing or there is no piece missing, and there is nothing missing. Yeah, that's how it should look like. It's important to take your time. This video is going to be a bit long. I would normally make it shorter, but I thought it's important to show you the steps, most of them in real time, so you can see exactly how I'm doing. There is a specific way to do this welding with the soldering iron on the plastic to make the bond stronger. And adding the filling material is also important, because you see this plastic is not very thick, the original one. And I don't really care about how it looks like. I want it to be as strong as possible, even stronger than the original. And it is possible to make it stronger than the original, because you are making it thicker. The more plastic you add, the more strong it gets. Yeah, this part here, I don't know why I left. It kept dropping from my hand. So. Anyway, when you start with the weld, it's important to do.
You aligned here well.
Yeah, I align it really well. So I make sure I align it as good as I can and put 2 or 3 taps with the soldering iron. Only the purpose is to keep the part in place. It's not a permanent, the final weld, but it's there to keep it in the position to continue the working on it. If you use cable ties as filler material or another piece of plastic, you can just keep it next to a soldering iron and let it melt. It's really like using solder. I mean, it's really the same thing actually. It's just instead of using solder, use plastic. And actually the fumes are worse. Actually, I'm not sure. Cleaning the soldering iron is really a great idea before. Here the camera wasn't really placed very well, so I'm sorry for that. But you will get a better angle soon. There was a small crack on the main body, so that's what I was doing. And now you see one tap here, just a little bit, not much, just a bit. And then another on the other side, only to keep it in place. Once it's in place there, I can start adding filling material and really making it solid. And you see, I promised you a better angle. This is the better angle. Now this is very important here. Look closely. I put the soldering iron down and then fold it over left and right. And then a little bit to the left, down, and fold it over left and right. And then move more to the left again, down, and then fold it over left and right. The reason I do this is to really fuse the layers of plastic inside. If I wouldn't do this, it would be a superficial bond, and I want it to be strong, so that's why I'm doing this. You see, I press it down. Don't be afraid to go really deep with the soldering iron, because it will only affect the local area where you have it there. This is why it's really good to use the soldering iron and not something else to heat up the whole part where it would just melt the piece. You don't want that. You want local heat. And now just trying to even it out a little bit. It's important to use not such a powerful soldering iron. Even though it might make your work a little bit more difficult, it would be a bit more annoying. But with the less powerful soldering iron, you have a lower chance of overheating the plastic and burning it. You don't want to burn the plastic, you just want to melt it so it becomes malleable, where you can arrange it into the shape you want. Once it's burned, it's going to become brittle, and you really don't want that. And you see how I use this. This is 3D printer filament, and it's ABS filament. I never used it, but it was, I guess now I can't say that anymore. I used it once. You don't have to use this filament. Any part of ABS. In this case, the toy was ABS, so I used ABS. But if it was a different type of plastic, I would use that same type of plastic. Usually you find different types of plastic in containers for detergent and milk and water bottles for pet usually. And there are not many kinds of plastics you could use. PVC, it's a bit. Some of the plastics they make really bad fumes, so I would say all of them. I'm not sure if it's really all of them, but yeah, don't breathe the fumes from the plastic. You might be breathing some of them without. I mean, it's not impossible. I mean, you can't avoid it completely. But if you have a fan next to you, it's gonna help you a lot. Also be patient here. See, one tip, I was cutting some pieces from this filament, making it easier, a little bit easier to use reinforcement there. You could also use the plastic welding with reinforced these pieces of metal. Even I made a video before, I will link it in the description, where I was using an actual paper clip to do the plastic welding on a part from the washing machine, and that worked really well. But you don't really need to use the metal pieces. I mean, only a filler material of plastic is really good enough, but if you want it to be extra strong, you can use a paper clip inside to actually fuse it into the plastic after you do this. So you do this and then you can add a piece of metal. Really, any stainless steel is the best to use this. If you need it to be extra strong, you can use the plastic welding machine, but the cheapest really is to use the soldering iron, and you can use the paper clips or any piece of metal, and it's better if it has a irregular shape, not straight, so it grips more on the plastic inside. If you want the ideal, I will put links in the description with the plastic welding machine and the staples. There is the machine that is actually really a soldering iron, but the type with a transformer in it. And usually they have a piece of wire connecting the both sides, which gets hot. But in this case, the staple for the plastic welding machine is the thing that gets hot, makes the connection between the transformer elements, and it becomes really hot. And yeah, check the links in the description if you want to see that. Otherwise, soldering iron, if you have one, use that, it's fine. See, it doesn't look very pretty, but it's really solid here. I mean, it's actually, I checked it now, this was recorded on last month, 1 month ago. I didn't upload it so far. 1 month ago was recorded, and this is being used heavily, and it's fine. It's running, it's working fine. And it's really, if it breaks again, guess what I would do? I would do this again. I would fix it again. I mean, it's not that difficult. The biggest problem is the smell from the plastic on the soldering iron, and also if you take a break, unplug the soldering iron and clean it before you take the break, so it doesn't start burning on the soldering iron and smells all over the place. This is the video, watch it. If you need to rewind it and play it again, do that, but it's really the most important part I showed you earlier. You put the soldering iron inside and then fold it over left and right, and you keep doing it, going on one side, left towards the left or towards the right. It really doesn't matter. As long as you do those steps, you put it in, fold it over left and right, or right and left, it really doesn't matter also. And then you even it out on the top and use filler material to really make it full. And there will be pieces of extra material on the underside or above. You can even those out and it becomes more strong. Continue to watch the video to see the steps I do and how I put the car, this quad bike back, and it really works. Could be worse, but it could be better.
done.
That's all. Now everything is fine and it's working. It's not like new, but it's good enough. Fixed. It's working. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comment section below if you use plastic welding to fix things around your home, and what you use plastic welding to fix, and what you do. You use like this just plastic and filler material, or you use the staples with the plastic welding machine, or you use a soldering iron with the paper clip like I showed you in the previous video, linked in the description. Thanks for watching. Bye.